further ado, let's check out. Oh, hang on. Again, I want to make sure to give the shout out to the guy who made the video real quick. Mr. Crispy Bacon right there, 8K. Make sure to head over and give him a subscribe. Tell him I sent you. Because last thing I want to do is take some of his viewers. Now let's get on into it. It would help if I unmute the tab.
October 9th, 2024. You're in your chair sipping on a cup of joe, and instead of deciding to do something productive with your life and going outside and hanging out with your friends, you browse a Steam page for what games have come out recently. As you continue to look through games in the store, you see one that catches your eye, featuring a trailer depicting an off-putting but alluring setting of a house in the classic PS1 graphical style, and a cast of characters that catch you off guard at every second. Who are these characters? What are they doing? How is this a horror game? You then look at what this game is before you click add to wishlist, and you see that the game is a little title called Bad Parenting. A game that not only caught the interest of you due to its graphical style and interesting premise, but also one that caught the interest of a lot of people. And the around 20 to 25 minute experience was one that instantly captured the hearts of many. So much so that the game received overwhelmingly positive reviews across the board. It got to the point where some of the most...
Yeah, that's why I was so interested in it. I saw the reviews and I was like, wow, this looks pretty good. It's called Bad Parenting. So I was like, you know what? I could have some good responses to it. That sounds good.
Popular content creators in the...
And then this guy had to make the video, and I was like, maybe I should wait.
gaming space were playing it, and would also come back with the same opinion.
Bro, what a game, Chad! Chat, what a game, bro!
But what is the story of the game that got such universal praise, you may be asking yourself? Mr. Redface, a fictional character created by adults to teach their children. It's said that he often appears late at night to give gifts to well-behaved kids. But is the story of Mr. Redface really that simple? Ron is the main character of the game, who will witness the suffering that Mr. Redface brings to his family. And what if I also told you...
Sounds like a good premise so far. Hang on, just asking, did a guy called Willie used to watch your streams? I haven't streamed in a while, so Willie hasn't really showed up. Either that or Willie probably changed his name again.
That
He's
this
probably
game,
watching for all I
which was
know.
extremely successful in every metric, was a dev's first game that he
But to answer your question, yes, a guy named Willie did hop on stream. Or not hop on stream, but watch me.
ever made, and from what I was understand, was made completely by himself. Yeah, he came out swinging for his first horror game, let me tell you. It was an out of the park hit, as you can see. To describe the game's basic premise in further details, it's about this kid named Ron with a very abusive father and an overly busy...
I will say, like, if you can, like, the artistic style of the game is so very uncomfortable. It reminds me of there's this old commercial from like years ago. I remember it was like, I think it was like 2000. Whenever that Teenage Mutant, the CGI, no, not CGI, the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, there was this commercial, and I cannot find it for the life of me anywhere. For all I know, it never existed, but it was a car commercial, and it was like, you know, you may be a monster you won't never be a monster on the road, but here. Or, fuck, I don't remember what the tagline was, but it was so weird. It was like, I know it was an SUV. The vehicle was an SUV they're advertising. But it was like, little monsters were driving on the road, and they were like taking baseball bats and whacking humans who are acting like goats or sheep or whatever. And I was like, that is such a weird commercial. But it reminds me of that. Now, for all I know, that commercial doesn't exist, and I've just hallucinated all that. I am Willie Bro. I had a feeling.
Mother that were constantly arguing with each other. That's how the game starts out anyway. And then the mother tells Ron about
Stop
this
changing your name.
figure named Mr. Redface, who she claims leaves birthday presents if you're a good kid. Basically like a demented Santa Claus. After that initial day, let's just say some very traumatic events occur, and you basically end up finding that this Mr. Redface is your drunk dad that ended up snapping Ron's neck and having him suffer in the closet until he ends up passing away. In the video game, YouTube, in the video game. Also, I would say spoilers to the entire story, but trust me, you're not gonna want to play the game at all after this video's over. So honestly, it doesn't really matter. You also meet a group of—
Let's see if you convince me, Mr. Crispy Bacon. Let's see if you convince me not to buy the game. What if I do? What if I think the game? What if I do the? What if I do the classic separate the art from the artist? Ever think of that, bud? Nah, I'm kidding. Let's see. Maybe I won't buy this game if he's awful.
Other kids that have seemed to suffer tragic fates as well. One example being a kid that got burned to death, and another one that was in a whole ass car, showing the original places where they passed away. Similar to Ron being in the closet because that's where he passed away. Basically, the game features very blatant themes of child abuse and trauma. And let's just say that the YouTubers that played were, well, traumatized would be an undertitle for the topics that it was attempting.
The fuck just happened? Oh,
but
come
the
on.
question is, who designed such a masterpiece?
Hold up, pause. Hold on. I think we lost connection there for a second. Hold up. Everything good? Everything good? I think I'm back. Am I good? Everyone back? Everything good? Willie, can you type in chat real quick? I want to make sure everything's working because my stream just dropped off. Hang on. I should probably stream on Twitch too, even though I hate Twitch, dude. Everything good? Alright, it says I have a good connection. Everything looks... Alright, just dropped off a little bit. Oh my god, hang on. Can I hit that? Fuck, no pen. Ah. Oh well. Alright, I think we're reconnected. I think we're good. Let's get back to it.
Out of nowhere. Well, by looking at the Steam page, you can see that it was developed and published by an indie dev named On, and Ann's indie company 2002. I don't know. This is
Either
the
or, don't
developer,
matter.
and it also lists here that this is a Vietnamese
Alright, good, we're good.
developer, because it says in VN. And as you can see, this is literally their first horror game. They have no other previous entries available. So yeah, this is their first game, and it was a slam dunk.
For $2.
2002 is a Vietnamese indie developer whose first and last name remained unknown, best known for creating the horror game Bad Parenting. Specializing in short atmospheric horror experiences, Bad Parenting marks their debut title. Not a lot is known about On himself. We do know that he hails from Vietnam, and Bad Parenting was created heavily reflecting his own childhood, which I can only assume is slightly exaggerated considering the nigga isn't dead. Unless he's talking about other kids in his life that went out those ways and he just witnessed it himself, but it's not specified really, so we'll just leave it there. His social media was mostly kept to just talking about the game.
I mean, it could be that, like, he believed... Alright, hang on. It could be that, like, he believes that's the route it would have taken in another life, but he decided to, he just decided to have it end that way for what's happened to him. Which, you see a lot of artists do that. They'll take, like, some traumatic experience they had and turn it into art. Like, what was that one movie I watched? A Baby Reindeer, that's the one. Where the guy made a, essentially, like, a biography. I think it's an autobiography of, like, when a woman, like, attempted to, like, take advantage of him. Or even, like, how he was, how he was raped as well. Baby Reindeer is a good show. You should watch it. As long as you're not going to fucking, like, if you're not depressed already, I'd recommend Baby Reindeer. Back to it.
So, from revealing some behind-the-scenes elements of his creation, to even having future plans for plushes and other pieces of merch.
Sorry.
The typical pipeline. The only other thing he released to public that I could find was these very eerie mini-videos from June 2023 that featured... I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just very disturbing and weird.
Dành chỉ cho chúng ta mọi lúc mọi nơi. Dành chỉ cho chúng ta mọi lúc mọi nơi. Dành chỉ cho chúng ta mọi lúc mọi nơi.
Vietnamese
I'll give him
analog
this.
horror.
He definitely has a knack for horror. That much is obvious. This dude might be a little f***ing that. Just a little bit. Anyways, though, this was just to give you a quick little description of who this dude is, the game that he created, and why his game was such a massive success with audiences everywhere, and went viral on places like TikTok and YouTube. And considering how the game was called Bad Parenting 1 Mr. Redface, there were very obvious plans for follow-up episodes to come out as well, with I assume them focusing on different children that were abused by their parents as well, being the common
Makes
theme.
sense. Pretty
Possibly
smart.
adding more lore to who Mr.
Makes a lot of sense. Real quick, what made me hear about this game in particular wasn't like, oh, I was on TikTok. No, it was I watched a guy named Anthony Giuliano. Hang on, Gallego. That's his name, Anthony Gallego. Here, I'll show you the channel real quick. Anthony Gallego. This guy. I love watching this guy's content right here. Hold on, it's bad. Sorry. Let me put the thumbnails back up. There we go. See? Guy makes a lot of videos on like internet horror. There's also some like games he's played. I don't remember which video it was that was like about bad parenting. Here it is right here. How bad parenting portrays the effects of childhood trauma. This one right here a year ago. Good video. I recommend Anthony Gallego. Wait, Antoni? I don't know. I didn't even realize that's how you... Anyway, back to the video.
Redface actually is. But sadly, that most likely isn't going to happen, and even if it does, I highly doubt any YouTuber is going to touch any of those future games made by Ann with a 10-foot pole. Now you're probably wondering, why is this the case? Are they just racist? Yeah, we now are going to get into the weird, disgusting weeds of why you probably shouldn't support this dude and his games. Because holy hell, bro is he is an individual, I will say. I have seen a lot of the videos on YouTube that are covering the situation. Luckily, all of them have gotten a decent amount of views to at least have some effect on spreading awareness about this topic. But there's a couple bits of the story that I think aren't really told, and I want to tell the full story. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is
that
the
same guy killed me 3 times.
Bad parenting situation.
The creator of Bad Parenting may have just ruined his whole career.
One thing that I didn't mention about
bro, what did
is
he
the
do?
way he interacts with his audience. Of course, he has the main things like a YouTube channel, a TikTok, and a Twitter account. But once again, these were all more impersonal avenues.
Let me guess. He also has a Discord or a Snap. If he has a Snapchat, he's a fucking he's a pedo. I don't know anyone who has a Snapchat who isn't a high schooler or a predator.
That seem to strictly exist for the sole purpose of promoting his different projects, and that's really about it. However, the main way that he directly interacts with his audience is through the Discord server that he had, where he seemed to talk pretty frequently to his
god
community.
damn it, he has
For
Discord.
example, in the game, there was an option where you could look at different pieces of fan art that fans would draw up, and he even made it fancy by implementing this little exhibit-looking area to make the showcase even more special. It was really dope and was a really cool way to include fans into his project.
Pretty cool. I agree.
If only it ended there. Now, let's go ahead and shift forward in time to January 14th, 2025. And let's just say a gigantic, crazy bombshell went off. And that bombshell comes in the form of every content creator's nightmare. A 16-page Google document. This document gets right to the point with...
Unironically, not the worst thing. I've read a 720-page Google document on stream. It was, what's that girl? It was the I'm Alex girl who was like, I'm Alex called me a liar? Okay, here's all of his DMs where he drops the N-word and says he's gonna kill and beat me. I'm gonna bash your fucking head in with a brick. It's like, oh, okay. Alright. I'm Alex. Based alert.
its title. And it's simply called On is a... in big old letters.
Great
title. Now, this document featured an insane accusation that was supported by a slew of evidence. Now, there's multiple documents with this situation in hand, now that you know what we're talking about here. And I do want...
Wait, hold on. I just thought of something. Sorry. Give me one second. 1 second. Alright, he said that was like... Man, when did this drop?
Bombshell comes in the form Say a gigantic
sunset.
crazy bombshell went off. 2025.
All right, January 14th, 2025. When did he make this video? Oh, all right. He did it way before this. All right. I was thinking, like, if Anthony fucking made the video, like, anytime after January 14th, it'll be like, uh-oh. And thank God I didn't, because if this guy's a fucking... All right, I'm assuming this guy actually is a pedophile, all right? Anthony, you dodged one again.
And let's just say a gigantic crazy...
By the way, I have an awesome analog horror video. All right, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, and I'll watch it probably next stream, because unfortunately, due to the winter storm that's coming, I had to start stream late because I've been preparing a bunch of water and like canned goods.
bombshell went off. And that bombshell comes in the form of every
Oh my God, now
a 16-page Google document. This document gets right to the point with its title, and it's simply called On is a in big old letters. Now, this document featured an insane accusation that was supported by a slew of evidence. Now, there's multiple documents with this situation in hand now that you know what we're talking about here. And I do want to take the time to say that if you guys want to take a look at the documents yourselves, just so you can come to your own conclusions, I'm going to link all of them in the description below, because there's quite a bit. But if you guys don't want to look through them, I got you.
I'll probably read it. I'm going to read the full thing next stream.
Sadly, this document featured an insane accusation, right? But this accusation was actually supported by a slew of evidence that came with it, with the main pieces being various posts that he made towards the victim of his, who they call, and I'm going to just refer to them as V for the rest of the video. This was created by a group on his server, and started off by saying the following. Once again, just gets right to the point with this, with saying it again, so that's great. As a reminder, On is the creator of Bad Parenting, a game that went viral on YouTube and TikTok, played by big YouTubers like Queso, see what you did there, iShowSpeed, XQC, and Corey X Kenshin more recently. This document is being made because we cannot stand to see On getting so much fame after we know what he did. He's been grooming minors and manipulating them, making them think they're at fault. Our victim will explain how everything started with him. It started when she sent him a friend request. At the time, the victim had her age in their body.
Okay, look, what's the problem? Just like, okay, all right. Anything else? No, I'm kidding. That's so fucked. That's so fucked. So I guess this guy was grooming minors, and then he was like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna make a game about how I was traumatized."
So 14. After adding her back, they began to talk frequently, becoming friends, doing VC, and playing together often. So at first, it was platonic. The victim was acting the same as On.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Platonic. Never mind.
Then it became more private when the victim was talking about her feelings and personal life problems to Anne, since he's an adult or more mature. Wishing that he could make her feel better, Anne shared his problems, and in return, he established a relationship of trust between him and his victim. The more they talked, the more they became closer. The victim's feelings were confused. They then started dating. The victim thought it was okay because she'd never been in a relationship before. They started talking about more intimate stuff like kissing, etc., saying how much they loved each other. On knowing that his girlfriend was 14 years old. So, once again, an insane accusation. Now, I will say, a lot of times when an accusation comes out, you have to take it with a grain of salt, as usually there's not a lot of substantial evidence to the claim. And you always have to keep in mind the possibility.
Unless it's against Turkey Tom, and if that's the case, he's guilty. Guys! That's a fucking... I recommend watching the channel if you, the last, like, 5 uploads have just been nothing but Turkey Tom content, so... Yeah. Let's keep going.
That the victim may be exaggerating a situation that happened to them to make it seem like a crime occurred, or they're just flat out lying. Unfortunately, bad actors made people have to think this way when information gets out about a popular content creator. This document, though, especially with its evidence and screenshots, are definitely solidifying On into the OVO squadron, let's just say. Now, the document opens up strongly with a screenshot of On basically acknowledging V as his girlfriend, and saying that he loves her so much that he wants to bite her cute cheeks. You didn't link it. They go on on to caption this screenshot and say, in this image, we can see how he referred to the victim as his girlfriend, knowing how old she is. Everything was normal for her here, explaining that she felt safe. Now, out of context, you may be thinking, how do we know he's talking to a 14-year-old exactly? This could be a person of age, and there could be a misunderstanding that's going on. Well, let's continue.
Oh my god!
Later on, we get this interesting interaction where An is talking to V about him joining Roblox, only then to get weirdly mad about it. As you can see, An is giving the reasoning as to why she's not joining Roblox, saying that it automatically closes down after 20 minutes of inactivity.
Yes!
An then
Ooh,
says,
you see that shot there? Hell yeah.
You have to tell me if you can't join back next time, so I don't have to wait like a stupid. I also hate waiting like a stupid. And if you can't join it the first time, just say it. I didn't mean to make you angry. You kept saying you would join, but then you left me there. Please, I'm sorry. In Roblox, I thought it was just your connection, but now Sky too? In which the people making this, who I'm just going to refer to them as the guards from here on out, say that this interaction is an example of the grooming and manipulation tactics that An was using on V at the time of their relationship. And keep in mind, this...
Thank you. I totally couldn't see that when I was watching the... Let me get the link right quick. I have another one you can watch. BRB. Wait, you didn't link the video. All right, I'm gonna wait for the link. All right, I await your link.
Person, okay, is 14 years old. Okay, specifically, they say that this makes it a lot harder for V to understand how emotionally immature An is by making a big deal out of joining Roblox, basically. The relationship even got to the point where V and An were having calls together, and he would constantly talk about how much he loved her as well. Which, to be fair, you could classify that as a form of love bombing, which is another manipulation tactic that these kinds of people do, making their victim kind of feel nice by constantly splurging them with, well, I mean, love bombing. That's probably the best bet. I'm not saying this specific interaction was love bombing, but it is interesting how shortly after they met each other, he's constantly talking about how much he loves her and stuff. Now, one of the weirdest things that the guards brought up was this weird ass pyrocynical ass role play. So there's this screenshot here where he talks about how he wants to live inside. Oh my god.
What?
Ah! We have this screenshot here where he talks about how he wants to live.
Oh my god, it actually is a pyrocynical. It automatically gets deleted. Okay, add like 3 spaces between HTTPS. Add 3 spaces between that and it'll post it. But anyway, of fucking course, the 4. Oh god, it's always fucking 4. It always comes down to it. It's, oh my god. It's fucking gross, dude. Come on. I don't know what's worse. Sorry, my tongue got in the way there. I don't know what's worse. The fucking pedophilia or the furry RP. No. Burning boy. Is someone fucking shooting me? What the fuck is that? I keep seeing that. Whatever. The creator is Benchworth. The videos I'm trying to send are Burning Boy and Peter the Horses. Peter the Horses here. I'll pull them up on another window so I don't ruin the video here. Let's continue.
Live inside V's belly and to swallow him.
I forgot this is where we're at.
And then there's another screenshot which talks more about wanting to kiss her belly. Bro, what in the Ed and Eddie pink belly is going on with this interaction, man? Why? What is this conversation?
Oh, God.
Keep in mind, when you check the dates of when he's doing this, this is after the release of Bad Parenting, which, once again, is a game about the exploitation of children. You see the irony here? Now, if there's any doubt that maybe he didn't know the age of V, or V wasn't 14 and the guards were lying about it, this screenshot pretty much dispels all of it. Where An says, I mean, kids and adults have different ways to love, and I might make you do the adult way. Sometimes I forget that you're still 14. This dude.
Alright, so yeah, you know.
But we're not done. We're not done. Stick with me here.
Of course we're not
V testified that
God, I hope we're not done. We're 13 minutes into a 52-minute video. God, I hope we're not done.
One time and said that she showed her legs.
It'd be so funny if this is where he ends the video. He's like, all right, guys, go read the document. It's like, oh, okay, all right.
for a split frame, and An then told her to crush him with her legs. Keep in mind that this interaction is a strict testimony. There's no proof or recording that was shown to kind of prove that this interaction happened, so take it with a grain of salt, but we'll see later. I'm kind of leaning more towards this being real, but once again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Also, keep in mind the texts above are just as sick, which once again is why I'm completely against them. He literally says age is not the biggest problem and calls her his future girlfriend multiple times. Now, they also show a series of text messages that really...
Yeah, so this actually is fucking grooming, yeah. Alright.
implicate him further and really shows how depraved he is in my personal opinion. According to the guards, the messages here were before they started dating, and were apparently on revealing that he had a crush on another 14-year-old, but it ended up being V's name backwards. At least that's what they claim. In one DM, On says to her that they say, blank is beautiful and funny too. This is V right here saying, I wish I could be like her. She sounds wonderful. And then On says, time will tell. And then she says, I feel confused. What does this mean? It's okay. You will get it in 4 to 5 years. I don't know about you guys, but this to me screams.
Alright, real quick, I pulled up the channel you're talking about. It's Bonesworth. And I gotta tell you right here, right now, already, I like the art style. I like it already. So yeah, we'll be checking that out next stream.
Grooming. If nothing else has really gotten your alarm bells ringing. Couple this with another text where he says that the age barrier was the only thing stopping him, and that I...
Fuck it. The bullshit, the age barrier. No, guys, the age barrier is what stopped. God, look, I know, listen. I know the DMs where I'm saying I'd love to live in her belly, and I would like to, and I can't wait for you to turn into an adult. Look, I know I said all that. I also know that I said I wanted to treat her as if she was in an adult relationship, make her do adult things, but guys, what stopped me was that she was 14. Guys, trust me, please. Dear God, please trust me.
Won't invade until it opens by itself. Once again, keep in mind that he's 22 years old typing this about a 14-year-old, regardless of if this is about V or another girl entirely. Honestly, with it being another 14-year-old, that doesn't make the situation better at all. That actually just shows you're just consistently in a 14-year-old when you're in your 20s.
It's a different 14-year-old? Oh, boy.
I don't know the time. Overall, though, this document does a good job at getting straight into the accusations and puts down a more than good case as to On's nature and who he truly is, which, to be frank, if everything lines up here, is a straight up file. Once again, I usually reserve a lot of judgment, especially when it comes to accusations like these, because I feel like a lot of people spam the word, and that causes it to really lose the sting and meaning that those once had. And I don't want to contribute to that. But considering what was in these DMs, unless these were all completely fake and completely fabricated by the guards or something, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I can't think of a better word for the guy, But once again, this is only the original document, and we still have quite a bit more to go through. So if you're holding out hope for this guy, let's just say despair is going to hit you like a truck later on.
Oh boy,
One thing that I think is a really good indicator of how guilty someone is of their actions after news of this caliber come out. While this isn't always the case, as there's definitely times where panic can settle in, even if you believe you're innocent, only to then turn it around later on and prove your innocence to people, I still think it is valuable to see the...
I personally would not use James Charles as the example here. I would use someone like Quite or Slazo. Those are the two examples I'd use.
The accused's reaction to the claims. And now this leads...
or George Not Found. George is Not Found. I think that's a good one.
Us into the second document, where it details what happened after On got allegedly exposed by the guards, and the document fully went public. Once again, very, very bold title here. Very bold title. So the document starts off by saying this: On, a famous game developer who made the game Bad Parenting,
how the fucking break the radiator?
Owns a Discord server called 2002 Games, uses it for anything related to art, gaming, and development of his own game. Lately, he was caught talking with a 14-year-old and labeling her as his GF, which is direct acts of pedophilia. The victim was also trying to avoid him, but On was persistent in his acts, saying words that varied from vor fetish to direct intimacy. Now, as you can tell, we don't have a lot of information about about who made this document yet, but they do have access to their Discord server, so it's someone who's been in the server for a long time. Now, first they showcase On's first reaction to all this being out here, and I'll just kind of read it verbatim.
His reaction is probably something like, fuck, 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 fuck. Did you see this Discord server gets deleted, messages all deleted. He posts to Twitter, I'm very sorry, I'll make up for this by getting a noose, and then boom, there. All right, I think that's the reaction.
Again, because I think it's important. Keep in mind, this is gonna be a long thing. A few months ago, I met V in my own server, and we were friends to each other. We often played games in the VC with many other members, but since we had played Sky together, we got closer. Until one time in Sky, she confessed she loved me and told me she wanted to be my girlfriend in private. I said no and told her to wait until she turns 18. Many times, not once. I also forbade everything sexual, even jokes. I didn't want that to happen between me and her. But then, every day, I still talked to her a lot and spent hours to play games with her. I found it was not okay and told her to tone down, be normal like everyone else. And it only lasted for a short time and everything went back to the way it was because she still has that kind of affection. In our final weeks, I let the boyfriend-girlfriend joke happen. It's my fault, it's not right, and I don't have any excuses for this. I could have ended the whole relationship and blocked her, but I didn't because I still wanted to talk and play games with her. I kind of used her to vent all daily life problems. You may wonder why
that is not a good response. That is not at all a good response, dog. Yeah, I spoke to this 14-year-old about my everyday life. Like, why? Why a 14-year-old? Why not someone who's a bit older? Hey, you know what? If I have life problems, you know who I talk to? My adult friends, who are all my friends. Because they're adults, they'll be able to relate easier. It's fucking stupid. What a dumb fucking whatever.
I picked a child.
I mean, he is a pet.
Because
I don't
kids
even know.
judge. So I can freely tell her every problem that I had. But at the same time, I had another plan to end all romantic things in this relationship. I tried to talk less to her, talk more.
I had a plan. Listen, guys, I swear, I promise, dude, I was going to stop, but I just they just exposed me too soon. I would have stopped. I promise, I would have stopped. If I pretend. Nah, I'm a friendly, bro. I'm friendly. Damn it! Ah!
to the girls in the server, so she would think that I don't have anything to do with her and give up.
I thought they were.
I
thought they fell for it.
Ended it all, and also exposed things between me and her. First of all, I think there's an interesting contradiction that he makes in this statement that I find really suspicious. One, he said he forbade everything that was sexual, even jokes. He says that in the first paragraph, but in the second paragraph, he says I had another plan to end all romantic things in this relationship. What romantic things was going on? You know what I'm saying? Oh wait, I guess we know. Also, going back to the forbade anything sexual part, if that's the case, then why all the text talking about how much you love her throughout what seems to be the entire interactions with this girl? And the alleged time where he wanted her to crush him with her thighs? Like, where was that at? Also, this whole position of him talking about how he needed to talk less to her and more girls on the server, in my opinion, doesn't excuse the behavior at all. Why not just kick her from the server completely? Or be upfront with her?
Yeah, like, actually, like, that's a pretty good, like, okay, there it goes. Yeah, that's a good response. Like, be like, hey, you know what? Here's an idea. I'm going to just fucking ban you. How about that? That's completely reasonable. Like, if I had a Discord. Alright, this may be harsh to say, but, like, if I had a Discord and I heard somebody groomed and someone got groomed, I'd ban both of them. Not because, like, obviously the groomer, obvious reason, right? But you may sit there and think, well, lethality. Why would you ban the groomed? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. If you get groomed, it's probably going to happen again, and I'd rather it not be my problem. That may be so fucking like, oh, lethality. That's so harsh to say, but like, No. No, you didn't. No, we're done here.
Tell her this would be very inappropriate and cut her off. Maybe not allow minors to join the server at all? Why not proceed with these options rather than talking to more girls in the server? The girl is 14, just block her and move on. The biggest thing claimed in his response though is that the whole thing about her being his girlfriend was a joke that was occurring.
But the thing is, he can't move on because he likes her. He's attracted to her. He wants her. That's why. Why just block her? Because he wants that fucking. Oh God. Oh, sorry. I just grossed myself out. Oh God.
That's his excuse. All those times where you've seen all those things, he claims every single one of those times were strictly jokes. Which, one, either way is weird because joking about that with an actual kid is strange and gross regardless. So even if this was true, you're still in the wrong and I would not trust you with children at all ever. Also, in this same sentiment, he mentions how she confessed to him that she loved him and wanted to be his girlfriend. So once again, by your logic, this would be you joking with a 14-year-old that actually had genuine feelings about you. Does that make any sense to anybody listening? But even if you say yes, clearly. The document fortunately archived other instances of him directly contradicting himself here, which we'll go through in a bit. There's also a very weird thing he said where he said, I could have ended the relationship with her at those times and blocked her, but I didn't. Now, why would this dumbass do that, you may ask? Well, if we believe his statement, it's because he wanted to vent all his daily problems and life problems to her, and saying that it's because kids don't judge, so I can freely tell her every problem I had. He also says due to him trying the method
gross, dude.
To her, she threatened to expose this entire relationship. Which, like, good? Do you want me to feel bad for you? Why would I blame her?
Charles, the 14-year-old's like, I will expose this whole relationship. Guys, she is trying to abuse me. I just can't. It's the. Have you guys ever seen? Have you guys ever seen Yandere Dev? The audio where he's like talking. He's like, "You are trying to manipulate me," and then the girl's like, "I'm 16."
For that. You're a fucking loser. Also, I find it very scummy of this dude to vent daily problems, as he says, to a 14-year-old. That's just completely inappropriate to do, man. And it doesn't make you look any better or make your case that you didn't feel attraction to her, as it sounds like this was probably the reason she felt such a strong attachment to the dude. And he just ended up strengthening this disturbing relationship. So when you compare that with the fact that he literally told her very private information about himself, and according to the first document, she did it vice versa, and then the multiple times where he called her his girlfriend, do you not expect me to come to the logical conclusion that you may be dating this person? Now, he ends off by saying this. If you're all waiting for an apology, there won't be, because I don't have any reason to apologize to you guys. I only do that to that girl, and I did.
If you're a game dev and your game becomes viral, just keep your reputation. Honestly, yeah. If I make a game, which, I mean, I'd like to one day, unironically, I'm not starting a Discord server. Nope, I'm not doing that. If a fan messages me, guess what? I'm not responding. I'm not responding. I'm going to be like, nope. Not at all. That would be, yeah, no.
It months ago. But this isn't everything. There are so many things I have to tell you guys.
I'd rather be a David Szymanski type.
So, no, dude. No. All of this is your fault. Every single step you've made is a failure to you as a person. You are the adult in this whole thing, and it's your responsibility to dead this whole relationship from the beginning, because it'll always be inappropriate no matter what. Also, I don't think anyone wants you to apologize to them, and if you privately gave her a genuine apology, then good, but this needed to go public. It's clear On is a disturbed individual, and to protect any minor that goes into his server, or any person that was planning to financially support this fucking weirdo, this needed to be public information for everyone to know, so they can make their final judgments on the matter. Whether they want to support you or not support you. Whether they want to play your games to thousands of people in their audience, a lot of their audience being children, or not. This wasn't just a private issue. You're a predator who talked in a very nasty way to a 14-year-old. Fuck off. Also, I just want to add here that for anyone that wants to claim he's from Vietnam, so maybe the age of consent is like 14.
Dude, that's the, oh my God, all right, that is the technicals fucking defense right there. I'm I've coined that the Technicals defense, because Technicals made a video defending a Smash Pro named Zero, and his defense was Zero is from Chile, and the age of consent over there is 13. So when he moved to America, that clearly means that he didn't understand. It's like, dude, you're fucking no. Like, no, that's not how that fucking works.
Here's something. One, that still doesn't make it okay, but let's take a look anyway. Let's see here. Okay, so the age of consent in Vietnam is, would you look at that, 18 years old. The age of consent is
Vietnam.
the minimum age at which an individual is considered legally enough to consent to participation in sexual activity. Individuals aged 17 or older in Vietnam are not legally able to consent to sexual activity, and such activity may result in prosecution for statutory R-word or the equivalent local law. Now, you'll see later, but the minor actually said that where she's from, the age of consent is 14 apparently, and it's legal there. But like, I don't care. I don't even. Now, as I hinted to you before, the guards provided a lot of evidence that An was not being truthful in his statement, providing screenshots of different times where he's referred to her as his girlfriend multiple times. They also show screenshots of him joking about this whole thing, in which they see this as him showing no remorse about what he had done, which once again is an attempt to groom a 14-year-old. They also show screenshots of him saying that sending vor, which are the comments he was making about wanting to live inside her and stuff, is not considered a sexual joke at all.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, buddy. Well, let's see here. Vor is a shortened version of the term
vorophilia.
Sorry, guys, I have a cold. I can pronounce words right. A paraphilia and a fetish, chiefly practiced by role-playing, involving the devouring of or being devoured by another person or creature, whether alive and whole. So, what you said is considered vor, because you're saying you want to live inside her belly. God, it's so fucking weird, dude. And vorophilia seems like a fetish. And what is a fetish? Well, that is inherently sexual. But I'll let you guys come to the conclusion whether you want to believe him here or not. But I think I know where I stand on it personally. Now, next, he tries to justify his relationship with V, asking how him waiting for her to turn to an acceptable age and him actively having sexually charged discussions with her for the ultimate goal of getting into a relationship with her when she turns 16 is considered grooming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. The guards didn't get into her first response to all
hang
this,
on.
which was saying that An didn't do
Hold on. Wait, what do you say? Hang on. I said yeah to something. Sorry.
actually charged discussions with her for the ultimate goal of getting into a relationship with her when she turns 16 is considered grooming.
Yeah, you're waiting. You were talking to her. You were trying to normalize her to what you were into. Like, yeah, that's what you were doing. Yes, you were grooming, dude. That's what grooming is. Oh, well, so I'm the bad guy because I was waiting? No, you're the bad guy because you sat there going, hey, yo, hey, let's do some vor role play. Ooh, I want to live in your belly. You're trying to normalize your fucking fetish to this fucking 14-year-old. Yes, you're a groomer. 100%.
Yeah, I have no idea. The guards didn't get into her first response to all this, which was saying that An didn't do anything wrong, and she also denied that he was a groomer and a PDF file. By the way, this message was in response to him literally admitting that he feels like a creep after seeing a video talking about YouTube predators that hang out with minors. Yeah, buddy, you're definitely in that batch too. The guards also sent an image of his apology that he gave her back in November, saying the following. I think we should stop this kind of relationship. It's not really stable and healthy, and not right either. The entire thing just won't work. It feels very weird. We can be normal to each other like we did months ago. It makes me feel more comfortable, and I don't have to think about it every night. Your mindset will also change a lot when you're grown up. You will see that I was always right about this. If you still want something more than a friendship between us, you can wait, and I can wait too. Hope you'll understand.
All right, now here's my question. Was this before or after he got exposed?
This for me. Wow, it's almost like they were in a romantic relationship. I want you to tell me, from the way he speaks here, does this sound like a friendship? Because if we go by his words, this is him ending a friendship, but then him saying, if you still want something more. Of
course, the moment I switched to Russia, all of a sudden, yo, here's a game. All right. Yeah, I totally didn't want to play as Sweden that round. fucking
than a
game.
friendship. And then he says, we can be normal to each other like we did months ago. Does that not sound like a romantic relationship was going on here? Like, come on, guys. Bro, it's insane that
Duh,
this dude was baffled that people are accusing him of grooming a minor when he's literally doing it in 4K, ultra wide definition with ray tracing turned on and all settings set to high. And he basically just denied any semblance of this being like an actual relationship with V. Also, side note, but I love how every time he digs his hole deeper and deeper, he just gets responded to with throw up emojis and clowns. It's beautiful. The guards also make an important distinction here that is very important. He also started saying that he told her to wait till 18, which by definition is still grooming. But I wish this was true, because at truth, he told her to wait till 16. Don't forget, he's 2 years old. All this shows.
Okay, that's even fuck. All right, well, I just need you to be a slightly older minor. Bro's like, I can't wait 4 years. Let's just wait the 2 and see how this goes out. It's fucking God fucking weird, dude.
On is a hypocrite, unworthy of the title of a big game dev. Who knows what he will do if he had more fame and power? Which once again is why I think it's important to call this out and to make this public, because he could have a lot more victims on his hand if he keeps this behavior up. And I think once again, he should be called out for this. Then lastly, this document shows On crashing out completely, once again trying to convince people that it's not grooming. The definition of grooming is building trust, relationship with my.
You have lost the argument. Congratulations, you've lost. It's like, oh my god. All right, this is. I know Jackson here, so he'll remember this happening. When Destiny got called out for having a particular folder with 60 gigabytes of cheese pizza, people called him a pedophile. He was like, actually, I'm a Habibophile. You see, because a pedophile is someone who's into prepubescent children. I am a Habibophile, which means that I like teenage. It's like, dude, you're a pedophile. 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 You're a fucking degenerate fuck, dude. Actually, I'm not a pedophile. I'm actually a Habibophile.
To achieve the sexual goal with them. I literally had a good friendship with her and her trust. Had a perfect space and everything a groomer needed to achieve that groomer's goal. But why the fuck didn't I do it? Because we were trying to wait until she turned 18, which is literally the definition of grooming. Are you stupid? On the contrary, I told her to never trust me or anyone on the internet and forbade her to talk dirty things with me, even if it's just a joke. Once again, we're just gonna assume here, unless you disagree with me, which I would love to know why, that they were most likely in a relationship at this point. A romantic relationship at this point. At the end of the day, you can go by your text and multiple messages that we've already looked at and kind of come to the conclusion that you're a weirdo and a strange individual and a weird pervert too. You're just weird, dog. It's one thing to apologize. It almost feels like that apology is just there to make you look good when you're constantly trying to justify the inappropriate relationship that you had with the 14-year-old. Also, on his way out, he attempted to expose someone by the name of Eclipse, who I assume is one of the guards responsible for writing this document. After this thing, you may go at yourself in the mirror. Will you keep lying to yourself that you're a good person, a true minor protector? Or will you accept the fact that you're just a piece of...
That's so fucked up. Like, oh, you think I'm a predator? Well, I want you to know every night you look in the mirror, never forget that you and I are one and the same. It's like, okay. You're a fucking Efsler, dude. What the hell?
Shit, and a hypocrite. A child abuser. You all make her think all the sexual stuff you guys send/tell her is fine. Does this sound like grooming now? And then they directly respond to this saying this. The funny thing is, all of this is BS. Yes, we have a server, and yes, we have a VC, but it doesn't have any grown men, other than us around her age playing D&D. The thing is that he said the stuff the 16-year-old girl did was illegal, while he, 22 years old, did nothing wrong, as shown above. Shop, and belly lover. Okay. Oh my god.
Trying to hope that mouse like passes me so I can like hit him.
Now, obviously, these accusations towards Eclipse may have merit to it. I don't know. We'll have to see. But even if they were being very inappropriate to V, you were still trying to groom her. And you definitely needed to be held accountable for that, you weird pervert. Now, you guys remember in On's initial response where he said, there are still many things I have to tell you guys? Well, he kept on his word when later that day, On had officially posted on his Twitter account the following. For those who are accusing me of being a
okay, unironically, I thought he was gonna pull a line maker and post the fucking nudes of this girl, of this fucking 14-year-old. I was about to say, oh god, oh no, no. Wait, yo, wait.
PDF and don't know about this incident, you can read this. It's pretty huge and long, including my side and the accuser's side. I'm just gonna say this right now, he is being disingenuous, he does not show all of the accuser's side. This is why you need to read the first document before you read this one. Now, his document is called The Downfall of 2002, and this was On's final response where his goal was to give more context and wanted people to let him explain his side of the story. So, let's let him do so. So, this document is split into basically two sections. The first 5 pages cover his response to the messages, and the other 10 pages cover Eclipse and the guards that were initially signal boosting On's odd behavior. So, let's go ahead and start with his response. Now, the first part of this pretty much reiterates what he said in his initial
Hey guys, make sure to like and subscribe.
The one thing I want to point out is that he sneakily makes this sound very one-sided. When in the text, it shows that he was also very interested in her as well at the time. As he said, the only barrier he had was when she turned 18. So why make it sound like she was the only one that was being interested here? It was obvious that it was reciprocated. And once again, he never denied that the texts weren't real, so we can go off that assumption. Anyways, he then proceeds to make it clear that V and him were never in a relationship. The screenshots showing messages where I called V GF are real, but they lack proper context.
Reminds me of when Pyro was 17 and dated that 14-year-old, and he's like, I wasn't in a relationship with her. I don't know what you're talking about. Then why'd you call her your girlfriend? I don't know what you're talking about. This girl's not even real. Bro, here's a picture of her. Well, I was never in a relationship with her. You call her your girlfriend. Well, I never did anything sexual with her. Well, according to all the DMs we have, that is true. He didn't do anything sexual with her. That's why I fucking hate Pyrocynical, dude. Makes good videos, hate the person. And then he fucking... Alright, a hot take, or, lukewarm take, whichever you prefer. He should have gotten more shit for the Ivory situation. Guys! Yes, I did furry. I did do some furry ERP with a 15-year-old, but guys, I didn't know he was 15. Okay, all right, yeah, I mean, sure, fuck it, I guess. Sure, fuck it, that. I guess if you didn't know, that makes it okay, I guess, right? I'm sorry, it still fucking bothers me that in his fucking my response video, the sentence "I didn't know Ivory's age" pops up, and then like 12 seconds after, or 3 sentences after, he then says, "When I discovered Ivory's age, I should have stopped talking to him." Oh, but he's fucking innocent. Whatever. Surely he won't do it again, right?
If V and I were actually dating already, there wouldn't be any reason for me to tell V to wait.
Here's
in reality,
hoping he doesn't.
during the last few weeks when we were still texting, I allowed joking around by calling each other GF and BF. Evidence that those instances were jokes. And then he showed
that
a
wasn't a
very
pen?
tiny snippet as proof of this being jokes, where I can't see the rest
Alright,
of the context
fucker,
or what
here.
V was saying
Fuck
that he
your
was
tracks.
responding to. But
Yo,
I really
fuck your
quick want to
tracks.
say, if you properly read what he said in the text, he said they need to stop the relationship and going back to being normal. Once again, if you look at what he said before, he says we should stop this kind of relationship. He says it's not stable and healthy and not right.
Yeah,
so
fuck
once
you.
again, he's trying to make you believe that the type of relationship that
understand
he's
these
talking
people
about
low-key.
is a friendship. And
Well, of course you can't understand him. You're not one of them. Of course you can't alright. Of course you can't understand what fucking pedophiles are thinking. It's because you're not a pedophile. Thank God you're not. Thank God none of us are pedophiles here. But it's like... It's gotta be mental illness, dude. That's the only reason I could think of.
he's saying that a friendship is not stable.
Because I'm certain, a mentally sane person would understand. Okay, I can't do this. It's wild.
And healthy, but he says if you still want something more than a friendship between us, you can wait, and I can too. And then that afterwards is where the whole thing, where the context of this joke is coming from. Also, keep in mind, when you look at the date of the text, it looks like this text that he showed was before him apologizing. I feel like there's some suspicious things that's not being expanded upon, but it is what it is. Now, one, On has already proven to be a somewhat unreliable narrator here, but let me remind you what this dude was saying in the first doc that once again conveniently is never talked about. He says, I love you more. I love my girlfriend. I love spending time with my GF. I love you, baby. I just love when you're being silly and cute. I love it when you are being shy. He says,
I was not dating this. These allegations are salacious. I was not in a relationship with her.
I loved it when you were shy in the call. You were so cute. I feel so cringe when I'm like that. Oh my god. No, don't feel like that when you are with me. I want you to be comfortable. Kids and adult have a different way to love, and I might make you do the adult way. Does this sound like a friendship, guys? Like, does this not
What, you never heard of friends with benefits?
sound like they are in a relationship? Were those mistakes and all those times where you said how much you love your girlfriend jokes too On? Because man, you joke a lot about how you really want to be in a relationship with this 14-year-old and how you're willing to wait. That definitely is an interesting joke you're saying, especially when she, in your words, has already confessed to you at that point.
Yes, it is quite humorous. What the fuck? A very humorous joke of, I want to be in a relationship. Like, no, that's, I want to be in a relationship, I want to be in a relationship, I want to be in a relationship. That's very funny. That is very funny, especially the 82nd time you've done it.
Now, I know there's a lot of sayings. When someone's making a joke, there are times where that joke will have a sense of realness to it. I personally don't subscribe to that, but if he's joking this much about it, I can definitely see there being something under the hood there, for sure. And keep in mind, On at multiple times is in the DMs privately joking about being in a relationship with them, saying you're gonna wait 4 to 5 years when she turns 18, and constantly having messages openly calling her your girlfriend. Bro, how much charitability do you want people to give you? Now, also, he does end up saying in the doc that this isn't an excuse whatsoever, and it's still weird to joke about romantic things with a minor, even if you take him at his word, which, by the way, I don't. It really just seems to me that one little snippet text that you said is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Now, the next thing he claims is that V and I never chatted about or joked about anything obscene or sexual. And this is a complete lie. In the first doc, Anne apparently missed the part about V coming forward and claiming that he wanted her to crush him with her legs. So if this was never meant to be sexual and you wanted to emphasize that in this document, why did you not address this whatsoever? Where you were privately telling her to crush you with her legs. You know, the minor that she admitted had a crush on you, in which you kept the conversation going afterwards. He then shows multiple screenshots where V is apologizing for making those kinds of jokes, and On basically is reinforcing here that he doesn't want her to say them anymore. And through this is implicated that On didn't want those jokes like at all. And look, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. You did have moments of being blatantly sexual with her. The fact that she's apologizing multiple times for the instances of her making inappropriate jokes tells me that you are part of the reason why she is saying jokes like that in the first place. She didn't just randomly wake up and then just start saying perverted shit to you. This has been a thing of conditioning, and he is part of that conditioning. At least that's what it seems to me. With the other screenshots of her apologizing, it begs the question, why did you not just end the relationship at this point and keep it going? Why continue talking to this minor even when she's admitted that she has feelings for you? You have other people on the server that you're friends with. Why not just interact with them? Why encourage this completely unhealthy relationship? Oh wait, I know.
Yeah, everybody fucking knows why. It's because you like them young, you fucking, you fuck motherfucker. You fucking, what's the, you fucking nonce. You nonce.
He then brings up the
Holy shit, how much more is in this video?
definitions of pedophilia and grooming to
Don't fucking... Okay, alright, tap the sign. the Destiny example. I'm not a pedophile. That means I'm a pedophile. Therefore, technically, and since this girl is technically 14, that means I'm a me when I grab you, me when I grab you, me when I throw you through the drywall, me when I throw you through the drywall. Like, fuck off, dude.
Prove that he's not either of those things. PDF is a very serious accusation, referring to individuals who are sexually attracted to or engage in sexual acts with children. Grooming is the act of building trust and luring young victims for sexual purposes. Okay, well, considering that you constantly joked about how you wanted to be in a relationship with a 14-year-old, you most likely found her attractive. She would be classified as prepubescent as she's 14 years old. Also, you blatantly brought about sexual topics to her. So, I don't think I'd be mad if someone labeled you as a PDF file, personally. As for a groomer, all I need to do is show this screenshot. You're a fucking loser. Now, he also talks about the vor comments that he made and gives more context to that. Regarding the joke about living in your belly, everyone has made it look like a sexual thing, but the context of the joke is this. V and I had created fictional characters for each other. My character was a tiny crocodile and V's was a giant lynx sheep hybrid. We often drew pictures and joked about it. Okay, we're just gonna do this.
Yep. Wait. What are you gonna do?
Define vorophilia. A paraphilia and a fetish, chiefly practiced by role-playing. Huh. And what does he admit to them doing? Role-playing. Huh. Also, notice how not only does he not show any of the DMs here, including the ones that were...
I love the excuse. It's like, well, I mean, I didn't actually want to live in her belly. Like, what? Alright. But, Your Honor, this man is... Holy shit, did not mean to fire. This man is guilty! Scratch that. This man is innocent of all charges, clearly. Your Honor, he did not actually want to live inside the 14-year-old's belly. So clearly, this man has been... I just slammed my desk in the fucking...
already screenshotted for him in the first document, but under the two pictures of them drawing their characters, he puts the text associated with the screenshots in himself. It's actually in the document, which I find very suspicious. For me, this doesn't change anything. These comments are still sexual, and this is still vor, and you're doing it with a 14-year-old. You're a fucking loser. Okay, alright. So, okay, I'm gonna read...
I'm sorry, you don't need a second opinion. This is very clearly like... Listen, I'm covering this pedophile. I need your opinion. Is this actually pedophilia? All right, Crispy Bacon. I trust you enough to have like enough sanity to know when you see pedophilia. All right, straight up. All right, but we'll get a second opinion. Why not?
His statement here. So once again, the accusations is this guy's right. So okay, I want to show you something. So I'm going to show you this DM. Right. This is him talking to this 14-year-old, by the way.
How old is the guy again?
22.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that he said is there was this accusation where he said, "I want to live inside your belly." All right. So
he's a 14-year-old.
Yes, to the 14-year-old. His excuse is saying this. Regarding the joke about living in your belly, it's a joke, by the way. Everyone has made it look like a sexual thing, but the context of the joke was this. V and I had created fictional characters for each other. My character was a tiny crocodile, and V's was a giant lynx sheep hybrid. We often drew pictures and joked about it. So I'm going to show you these pictures.
Am I allowed to read the previous DMs now? Or?
Yeah, you can read the DMs, and then I'm going to show you the picture, and then you tell me if this is sexual or not.
I want to eat you in your belly. What the what do I read? I like okay. Even beyond just like what is this DM?
I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, sure went waka waka.
I gotta parse through this because this is
all right. Yep.
I want to live inside your belly, especially my arms and belly.
Yep.
Oh, these are search terms for belly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I thought this was like an actual like that's why I was like I must be like I just didn't realize these were like someone like searched belly and like showed every time, but because I thought these were like consecutive messages, what is he on? While on that belly, sometimes you just want to give like an appropriately affectionate kiss on the belly to signify safety,
Yep. On the 14-year-old. Yep.
That's that guy fire.
On the 14-year-old girl, apparently. Yep. True. What about the part where he says, "I want to eat you"? Or wait, when he says, "I'm in your belly" like 8 billion times.
You know.
Oh God.
You know, basically, right? You some might think that's some type of sexual act, like vor and whatnot, but no. It's
Oh, by the way, he said what he said there,
He's trying to think of a joke.
even though it's vor, and the definition of vor is literally a fetish.
it's sexual.
Yeah, which is literally.
I'm just saying, I'm glad I'm not this guy's lawyer. Am I right?
That's what I'm saying. Next, he talks about the first document's accusation that he was manipulating her into feeling bad about not joining Roblox with them. As for the accusation that I was upset because V didn't play games with me, that's completely twisted and distorted. Of course, the messages were always cut to make me look bad. I don't think you need much help with that.
Yeah.
Specifically, I had invited V to play multiple times. V agreed, but then changed their mind without letting me know, leaving me waiting in the game. The first few times this happened, I didn't say anything to V, but when it kept happening, I'm sure anyone in this situation would have been frustrated. So this doesn't seem distorted and twisted as Ann says. In this image, we can see that Ann is getting mad over something really dumb. I don't think this sounds as twisted or distorted as Ann says. It's you getting mad over something really dumb. I think you can definitely make an argument that the deep armchair psychology
once this
thing
really
reloads in the first place. But
it's
this
gonna be game over for you, fucko.
Also, you getting mad at a 14-year-old
Go with God, bitch.
Join back in Roblox is peak terminally online behavior.
The guard
So now we get into the main thing that On does in
the dude, he's hitting with the Uno reverse. He's like, oh, I'm a pedophile? Well, actually, you're a pedophile. Whoa!
Document, which is making a twice as long piece about how the other mods in his server are just as...
Also, real quick, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the stream. I see the likes are pretty low, so I get them numbers up, my guys.
Bad as he is, making constant inappropriate jokes to other minors in the server.
And also make sure to check out Crispy Bacon. This is his video. This is his video, Crispy Bacon, right here. I will go ahead and link his account in the chat for everyone to go check out.
Keep in mind, these are apparently the people that exposed this dude's behavior from the very beginning. And now, the other thing to keep in mind is that Eclipse herself is 18 years old. Meanwhile, the other mods, who are named Junie, Rafflecat, and Sim, are all 18 and older, at least according to On. Now, he starts off with Eclipse, who's a person he called out in that one screenshot with the huge essay that he formulated. And it seems like he has the most beef with her. I don't really understand why he's having the most beef with a fucking minor, but go off. Now, once again, this is 10 pages long. I'm going to summarize it. I'll have it linked in the description if you want to take a look at it fully. But yeah, here we go. So he starts off and says that Eclipse had an entire server of animals doing things to each other, in which she invited V over, apparently. She had actually responded to this, seemingly admitting that this was true, and then denounced her behavior. Now, I also don't know why he did this, but in the document, you can see him trying to act like a 2-year age difference, V being 14 and Eclipse being 16, is this giant leap, and it's really not. So next, he shows a variety of pictures that E put in the server about No Nut November, and a bunch of other vulgar images that she had as well. On also mentions how he had to take down a mass volume of the posts, probably trying to put in his stats. So next he references a post where Eclipse had talked about groping a minor at school by accident. Once again, this humor is very weird and immature and kind of wild, but she's 16 years old. Why do I care about...
You'll never find a DM of me saying some shit like that, let me tell you.
This obvious jokes that she made. The person that On mainly talks about in this document is a guy by the name of Junie. On had previously said that Eclipse had mentioned that her friends weren't like On at all, and that they weren't weirdos, but On throws a monkey wrench into that claim, once again targeting Junie. Since I'm no longer in the private group chat, I don't have evidence of Junie making sex jokes to V. However, unlucky for Junie, V isn't the only minor Junie had sexually approached. The names of the victims will not be disclosed publicly, but will be provided to the involved people like Junie if they need it. Now, I won't lie, On has a lot of different screenshots of Junie being very weird. He's gotten multiple instances where Junie is talking weird to minors who are around the same age as V. He mentions how he got into a call with a 14-year-old and set the status to hot Vietnamese bussy. And this is because he claims that the minor that he was talking to in the call was Vietnamese. He even got a screenshot of Junie trying to cover himself where he asked a minor if he could like sex him or whatever that means, in which he then deleted because of how weird that is. And on top of that, the minor also called him out on it. But unfortunately for his weird ass, it got archived because of the snipe tool. Unlucky. What On provides as what I would consider one of the weirdest things is the voice chats that On had screenshotted and posted, where they had some of the strangest names for them that I don't think I'm gonna repeat if I put it on screen, and they're a lot. It's a lot. They literally have a VC called Diddle 14-year-olds, bro. Why? All of these people are disturbed. All these people are so
essentially it's like, dude, I'm calling the pedophile out, even though I am one. It's like, okay, wow, all right, yeah, all right. I mean, that's a strategy, I guess.
Disturbed. On claims that this was specifically aimed towards V to humiliate.
Who in their lifetime has never joined a BC titled?
Her in front of everyone. I don't really get that claim, and he provided no proof of that, so I'm gonna assume that this was an incredibly bad interpretation of what actually happened until more proof is shown. But despite that, I do have to be fair here. This is a very weird thing to do, and it's like it's on some weird shit for sure. Look, I do think that making jokes towards dark topics like this is fine, and it's pretty based and red-pilled as well. I mean, I would be a hypocrite to say that otherwise, because I do it all the time with my friends.
I'm sorry, that was mean right there, Blazing. That was uncalled for. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know why you're being so hostile, dog. I have not said a word to you.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man. It's just that you were there and you kind of, for some reason, ticked me off for some reason. I just had to.
Oh, I tick you off? What about me ticks you off, though?
Let me think.
Your skin color?
I don't like children like you do, you pedophile. Sorry.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
First, I would have went with the race joke, but I guess pedophiles on their attack.
Also, I can't wait for Minecraft 2.
But when there's actual kids in the server and you're making jokes like that, that is just not good.
So what the fucker was this
not
the whole
good at all. I have to completely disavow this one. I'm kind of wondering on whose idea was it to make this type of voice call, because On weirdly doesn't specify. Though I guess since this is still in the Eclipse section, the assumption is that Eclipse made the voice chat, which once again is very inappropriate and wrong for sure, especially if the goal was to aim it at V. But I still wouldn't say it compares to what On did, considering that she's making these jokes at 16 years old, and there's only a 2-year age difference here. Is she mentally ill and probably very socially disturbed? 100%. She needs to get offline and go outside. But is she comparable to On's behavior at the ripe age of 22? No! I will say that Junie guy is a fucking weird, disgusting loser too, though. I will say that for sure. Now, honestly, I think this statement by On is a good summarization of this whole document of what he was trying to do. In this entire drama, except for V, everyone else is in the wrong. But not everyone has the courage to admit that it was wrong or warn V that it was wrong. Because I knew very well that getting involved with someone younger isn't a good thing, I warned V and advised them to put aside any romantic feelings and focus on being normal friends as much as possible. Once again, I think this is a bit disingenuous because it is clear to me that they were in a relationship, and he said so in his own thing that they need to stop this relationship. I will say, while I think the part defending himself is pretty dog shit, honestly.
Well, why do you call it a relationship? There are different types of relationships. For example, me, when I'm friends with someone, that's a relationship. Not every relationship is about a boyfriend and girlfriend. Sometimes it just be friends. Everything of that. Thank you, Mr. Fucking live in the belly of a 14-year-old. That's a very good point. We will. Oh shit! Wait, is there a guy over there? Wait. No, he's not over there. What the fuck is he shooting at? I don't see what he's shooting at.
And it really only reinforces to me that he was having very sexually charged conversations with V. The second part where he accuses the mods for not being angels themselves was more effective than I thought, honestly. And just to be absolutely clear here, I do still think On is the worst person in this entire fiasco. He was the one that, in my personal opinion, was in a confirmed relationship with a 14-year-old. Yes, were there very, very inappropriate jokes in the server that should not be said to minors? 1000%. But he had a vested interest in 14-year-old girls as a 20-year-old. He is easily the worst person around. I just want to make that very, very...
Go ahead, Jack. Deny it all you want. You and I, we're meant for...
clear before we continue on. Now, On had actually gotten her response on another channel where she actually did end up taking some responsibility for her actions. Hi everyone, Eclipse here. I will be ignoring the drama now. I apologize for anything.
Though I will say that if you do say the words like, "Oh, we're in a relationship," it does sound more like you're dating than anything else. Even though, technically speaking, no, I'm kidding.
That I've done that is confirmed to be true. I am very sorry. This is my official apology as I don't have much social media. I'm sorry this has gone this far. I will be focusing on school and chatting normally in a different server since I don't want to stress my school life with this.
Yeah, Jack, you're not into
now.
blacks, are you?
So my final conclusion to all of this, everyone involved in this, apart from V and any other minors in the server, are fucking weird, disgusting freaks. So basically the average Discord experience. Now, on Twitter, when this all got exposed,
dog?
there were people responding who I can only assume only saw this version of the document that he provided, because there was a lot more sympathy posts for On than I thought. And if they had seen all 3 docs up to this point, mental illness, and they all need to go to jail, and they all need to get their hard drives checked. What the hell? There were people that were pushing back against this narrative, though, that Ann is this completely innocent person, and what he did wasn't that bad. And one of those people is a self-proclaimed close friend to V's best friend. Now, let's talk about
that is. How did I miss all this?
These screenshots. On, I will not let you get away with what you did to my best friend's friend. That poor girl, you took advantage of her. And here she links once again screenshots that we have already seen before of him basically calling his girlfriend multiple times. So he then replied and basically tried to lump her in with the members that were a part of this private sex chat. What the fuck was going on in this server, man? She then denied this claim and then added on top of that everyone had apparently apologized and realized the jokes that they were telling V were messed up, though didn't provide any proof of that happening, so take that with a grain of salt. Now, knowing the disgusting nature of On, people then went to the dedicated Reddit page to being encouraged to mass review bomb the game for his actions. And now when you look at the game's review scores on Steam, now its recent reviews are mostly positive. And
wait, I wonder if they've changed. Hang on, I'm gonna check real quick. Let me check. Hang on. Bad. There we go. Bad parenting. How bad? How low have they gotten? It's still very positive. Excuse me. Let me scroll down to reviews. Okay, the first negative review I see here. This game's title has same level of energy as Dark Universe's The Mummy. The only difference is that the reason it was cut short with 1 entry is because the creator is a pedophile, Lamau. Wait, I hooted, I hollered, I laughed, I clapped. The very ending was clever and made me interested in a sequel. But it turns out the dev was Mr. Redface this whole time. The real horror of the story. A fantastic little experience. The twist was not immediately apparent, but the themes are interesting. The developer might be a diddler, though. It's all fucking like, yo, this guy's a pedophile. Dev is a pedophile. Do not buy this game. Watch someone else play it instead. All right, anything? Let me see. Just as long as it needs to be, which is short. Can't wait for more from this studio. Oh no. Jesus Christ. Alright, yeah, so the game still is reviewed very positively, but like, oh boy. Yeah.
And all reviews are very positive. Here you can see some people in the chat actually commenting about this. Good game, mega jaw drop. Shame the creator was doing Vor RP with a 14-year-old. Don't support this game. I played this game 3 times until I saw that the creator is a PDF file, and what makes it worse is what the game is about. Creator was caught talking to a 14-year-old about Vor and the other bad stuff. Don't buy this game if you hate PDFs. The game's alright, dev is trash though. The game is
but what if I love now?
Of course, the dev is a PDF file, which is unexpectable. Ooh. Why did this person rate it positively? However, there are still people that don't know about this entire thing, and there are people still rating it positively.
I mean, shit, man, I didn't know this shit happened. Like, last year I was going to play this for Halloween, for a Halloween stream. And I just, thankfully, I fucking like, whoa, yo, pump the brakes. What the hell is this in my recommended? Thank God I didn't fucking give this guy $2. But yeah, that's yep, that's it. That's the whole. I think we're at the pretty much at the last, like, let's see, we got the last like 3 minutes essentially. I appreciate everyone for coming out. Thank you all for coming out. Make sure to head over to the main video that I've watched here. I think the link is in the chat. Make sure to head over there, give them a like, give them a subscribe. And of course, we will be ending right there. That is right. It's over.